Hello everyone, I am Dr. Shweta, Professor in Management. So today I am here to discuss with you all transportation problems. As you know, transportation problem is very important topic of operation research or quantitative techniques. So what is transportation problem? When we study about business, when we study about how to generate profit, we talk about optimum utilization of resources. Fine. So in transportation problem, basically we deal with the cost, time, distance, and the major objective is to minimize the cost and maximize the profit. So there are three methods to deal with the transportation problems. The first one is NWCR, that is northwest corner rule. The second one is LCM method, that is least cost method, and the third one is VAM, that is Vogel's approximation method, or it is also known as the penalty method. So first we will understand the problem, then we will solve the question first by the NWCR, that is northwest corner rule. So this is a problem given here. We have to minimize cost of the above mentioned problem. So basically first we will understand the structure. What is this? Here three plants are given, plant 1, plant 2 and plant 3. As we all know, the production takes place in the plants or the factories or at the origin points, and we have to distribute them to the distribution centers or to the required places wherever the demand for that product exists. Fine. So there are three distribution centers, that is D1, D2 and D3, and three plants P1, P2 and P3. So these are the costs 6, 4, 1, 3, 8, 7, 4, 4, 2 for the respective distribution centers. In the end, in the bottom, you can see the demand or the requirement. Here, this is the capacity or the supply which a plant can deliver or can do. Fine. So before solving the problem, what you have to do? You have to first check the balance between demand and supply. If the demand and supply is equal, then it is a balanced transportation problem. So we can check the total in demand. There are 20, 95 and 35 units. The total of the 20, 95 and 35 is 150, and from here also in the vertical column also you can see the 50, 40 and 60. So here also the demand is 150. So this problem is a balanced transportation problem. So we are solving this problem first by the NWCR. NWCR, that is what? North West Corner Rule. So this is a northwest corner of a question. Always this will be the northwest corner of the question. So 6 will be northwest corner. So first what we will do, we will allocate. What we will do, we will fulfill the requirements. Here the requirement is 20 units. The demand is 20 units. And how much units you can supply? You can supply here 50 units. So what we will do, we will allocate, we will do the first allocation. That is what? We will allocate 20 units here. Fine. Then what we will see in this row, the remaining units will be 30. Means if someone else is also requiring something, then what you can do, now you can provide only 30 units. Then the first column will be finished, as on this point the demand will never exist. Now the second means the second northwest corner of the question. So this is what? 4. 4 is the next corner, next northwest corner. So here on this point the demand is 95. You can see the demand is 95, but you can supply only 30 units. What you can do? You can supply only 30 units. So you have to supply 30 units and the remaining demand will be 65. Okay. So now you can't supply any more units to this point. So the row will be finished. Now the next corner is what? 8. Fine. The next corner is 8. Then the demand on this point is 65 and you can supply the 40 units. So you will allocate 40 units here. Fine. and the remaining units are 25. So this row will be also finished. Here now you can see the demand is 25 and on this point the demand is 35. The total is 60. Fine. In last what you will see, आप देखेंगे कि demand और supply का total जो होगा last में क्या होगा, वो एक जैसा हो जाएगा. Fine. So first we will allocate on 4, that is 25 units. Fine. Then the remaining units will be 35 and you will allocate the 35 on this number 2, on the cost 2. Fine. Now what we will do, we will calculate the total cost. Fine. The cost given in PD cells means plant and distribution का जो cell given था, that is 6, 4, 1, ये सब cost है जैसा मैंने आपको बताया था अभी. तो 6 into 20 plus 4 into 30 plus 8 into 40 plus 4 into 25 and 2 into 35. So 6 into 20 is 120, 120, 320, 100 and 70. The total will be 120, 120, 320, 100 and 70. That is what? 240, 260, 300, 560, 100, 660 and 70, that is 730 rupees. So this is our first method, that is what? NWCR, Northwest Corner Rule. Now we will understand the same problem by LCM, that is what? Least cost method. So now we will solve the same problem with the LCM method, that is what? Least cost method. LCM, that is what? Least cost method. Fine. So we will select the minimum unit, minimum cost from the among all 641, 387, 442. So 1 is the minimum number, the least cost is what? 1. So here on this point, on 1, the demand is 35 and you can supply the 50 units. So what you will do? You will allocate 35 units to 1 and the remaining units will be 50. Hence the whole column will be finished because now the no demand will, we cannot generate the new demand on this same point. Fine. Now again the least cost, again the minimum number from among all these, that is what? 3. Fine. So 3 is the minimum number. On this point, on 3, what you can see here, the demand is 20 units and what you can do, you can supply 40 units as the capacity of your plant is what? 40 units. You can supply 40 units and the demand from the customer side is 20 unit. So you will supply 20 unit on this point and the remaining supply will be 20 units. So again on this point the whole column will be finished. Now what you can do, अब आप क्या कर सकते हैं इस केस में, you can do the direct allotment. Fine, because 4, 8 and 4 are the remaining numbers. So 15 to the 4, 20 to the 8 and 60 to the this point 4. 15, 20 and 60. The total of all these supply side will be 95 and the remaining demand is what? 95. So you can do the direct allotment, or what you can do, you can select the 4 first, then you can allot 15, then the remaining unit will be 80. Again you can select the, please cut this side also, fine. Then again you can select this 4 and the point, the demand side on this point is what? 80 and you can supply the 60 units. So you can supply the 60 units, it will be finished, then the remaining number will be 20 and you can supply 20 unit to the 8. Fine. तो आप एक एक करके इस तरीके से समझ के भी कर सकते हैं. And what you can do when you will do 2 or 3 questions, so आप बहुत ज़्यादा fluent हो जाएंगे and you can do the direct allotments. Fine. So on this point the total cost will be 4 into 15 plus 1 into 35. You have to multiply all the allocations with the cost given here, plus 3 into 20 plus 8 into 20 plus 4 into 60. So this will be 60, 35, 60, 160 and 240. The total will be 555 units. Fine. 555 units. Okay. 555. So there is one another method to check your allocations. For example, what you can see here, in the previous question also this rule applicable, this rule is applicable. वहाँ पर भी आपके कितने allotment आए थे? 5 allotments were there. Fine. Here also you can see the 5 allotments. What you can do to check your allocations, कि आपके allocations सही हैं या नहीं है, आपने सही से नॉर्थ वेस्ट कॉर्नर सेलेक्ट किया था या नहीं, या फिर यहाँ पे आपने जो कॉस्ट चूज की है लीस्ट कॉस्ट वो प्रॉपर ऑर्डर में सेट किया है या नहीं. सो व्हाट यू कैन डू, यू हैव टू चेक दी number of plants and number of distribution centers. So m plus n minus 1 will be your allocation. Fine. So m is what here? Plant, means the number of rows and number of columns. So 3 plus 3 minus 1 will be what? 6 minus 1 is what? 5. और आप देख सकते हैं यहाँ पे आपके allocations कितने हैं? 5. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Fine. It means आपका allocation बिल्कुल ठीक है. And the most important thing before solving the question, before starting the question, is to check the demand side and supply side. Fine. If the total of demand and supply is equal, then this is a balanced transportation problem and you can go easily to solve the question. Okay. So I hope this point is very helpful to you to understand your allocation is right or wrong. Fine. So this was your second method, that is least cost method. So now we will understand the same problem by Vogel's approximation method, that is what? Penalty method. It is also known as penalty method. In this problem, in the Vogel's approximation method, what you have to do, you have to calculate the differences between minimum two numbers. So in the first row, what are the minimum two numbers? 4 and 1 are the two minimum numbers. So difference between 4 and 1 is what? 3. In 3 and 7 the difference is 4, in 4 and 2 the difference is 2. You have to calculate the difference column wise too. Fine. So difference number 1, this is what? Difference number 1. So what we can do, we can calculate differences by like D1, D2, D3. Fine. So in the column 3 and 4 are the minimum numbers, here the difference is 1, in 4 and 4 the difference is 0, in 1 and 2 the difference is what? 1. So now you have to check which is the maximum number among all these differences. So 3, 4, 2, 1, 0, 1 are the 6 differences you had calculated here. Fine. So what you will do, you will select the maximum number, that is what? 4. Fine. And you have to select that row or that column, fine, that respective row and column with where the difference is maximum. So here the plant 2 where the number cost are 387, fine. So what we will do, we will allocate the allocation in the minimum cost first. Fine. सबसे पहले क्या करना है? The rule is what? Minimum, maximum, minimum. Minimum 2 numbers लिए आपने, ठीक है, रो वाइज या कॉलम वाइज जैसे भी आप कैलकुलेट कर रहे हैं. मिनिमम 2 नंबर्स के डिफरेंसेस लिखे आपने रो वाइज कॉलम वाइज, और इन सारे डिफरेंसेस में से जो मैक्सिमम होगा वो, और मैक्सिमम जिसके भी सामने आया, रो के सामने या कॉलम के सामने, उसको सेलेक्ट करके अब वहां पर वापस जो भी मिनिमम है उसको सेलेक्ट करेंगे. सो हेयर द मिनिमम कॉस्ट इज व्हाट? 3. सो यू हैव टू allocate, you have to check the demand here. The demand is 20 units and the supply side is what? 40 units. What you will do? You will allocate 20 units to this point and the column side for this point will be finished and the remaining supply is what? 20 units. Now you can see, you can witness 2 columns are also remaining here. So what you will do, you will calculate the second difference, that is D2 or penalty, second penalty, that is what? P2, fine. So the difference between 4 and 1 is what? 3. 8 and 7 is what? 1. 4 and 2 is what? 2. Then the difference between 4 and 4 is what? 0. 1 and 2 is what? 1. Here the maximum difference is what? Maximum difference is 3. Maximum difference is 3. So on this part 3. Fine. The minimum number is what? First select the difference. First select the maximum difference. Fine. It will be more convenient to you to select the next least cost. Fine. Here the minimum number is 1. You will allocate the 35 units to this point 1. Fine. 35. Then the remaining supply will be 15. Okay. The column side will be finished. Fine. Then the remaining cost. Now you can see अब हम यहाँ पे कोई difference calculate नहीं कर सकते because now we are left with one column only. Fine. One column only and row. There are 3 rows but आप difference कैसे calculate करेंगे column side में. So it is not possible. Now what you will do? You will do the direct allocations. To 15 to the 4 point, 20 to the 8 and 60 to the 4. Now the total of 15, 20 and 60 will be what? 95. तो बैलेंस हो रहा है आपका, तो आप कर सकते हैं यहाँ पे allocation 15, 20 and 60. Now this whole allocation will be finished. So again, as we had calculated the total cost in NWCR and LCM, so we will calculate the total cost here also for the Vogel's approximation method. So allocations are 3 into 20, 4 into 15 plus 8 into 20 plus 4 into 60 and the last but not least 1 into 35. So here also the total will be 555 units. So what you can see, what we can conclude from these 3 methods, you can see what is the answer was, what was the answer in NWCR? That is what 730 units. In LCM it was 555 units and in VAM the answer is 555 units. Generally it reduces, fine. The what answer will come in the NWCR. The next method is more better than this. So here the cost is 555 units and in NWCR यहाँ in VAM यहाँ पर आपका आंसर है 555 units, but in rest cases what you can see यहाँ पर आपकी cost और भी कम हो जाएगी. Fine. So I hope northwest corner rule, least cost method and Vogel's approximation method is clear to all of you. So thank you.